we also have the manufacturers who also make use of all these processed raw materials, move from intermediaries, from wholesalers to retailers until it gets to the final consumers. And I say that the business environment has influence on the business, even on the customers, as the case may be. Business environment, and when I say business environment, we have two types of business environment: the internal environment and the external. That is the micro and the macro. So all these government policies, even things we can control within ourselves as a business owner, and things that we cannot control, things like legislation, things like a natural earthquake or natural eruption and all what have you. So you find out that all these things affect business one way or the other. Under things that we can control, employees, managers, owners of the business, even financial institutions, the way we interact with them in the course of doing our business. So having said that, we also look at the material management. The raw materials, we have to transform them and manage them in or help in the course of manufacturing goods and services. We also have government agencies that affect business one way or the other. Things like Standard Organization of Nigeria. So you can't bring in any goods without Standard Organization of Nigeria satisfying that such goods is okay for human consumption or human use in the country. We also have NAFDAC that also regulates food and beverages to make sure that all these things are equally fit for human consumption. We also have our competitors and our public. So also we have issues, legal issues in business, because whether you like it or not, issues can come up in business. Issues that will warrant you going to court or some other person taking you to court as a business concern. So we will look at it. I will come back to that. Legal issue is a full topic on its own. I will come back to that. But for now, let's move to the topic of the day: social responsibility of business. Before I continue, take your assignments for the third week. With practical illustrations, discuss the relevance of social responsibility of business to the host community. I take that again. With practical illustrations, discuss the relevance of social responsibility of business to the host community. You submit it to the same email, valentineekechukwu@yahoo.co.uk. Now, what is social responsibility of business? You find out that a business concern has been operating from a particular locality year in and year out. One way or the other, that business community must have done certain things that will affect the lives and property of people living within that locality or within that environment. So social responsibility of business is a way of giving back to the society. It is a way of saying thank you for being there for us. It is a way of saying thank you for being our host. There is no way you can operate in a business environment without influencing the lives of people in that area positively. But a lot of business concerns have jettisoned this idea of giving back to the society as a result of greed, as a result of pursuing high profitability. They jettison this idea of playing pivotal role, this idea of paying back to the society. I will still come back to that. Nigeria is a place anything goes. Nobody is taking this issue of social responsibility seriously. But you can't try it abroad and go scot-free. Government will close down your business. So the pervasive influence of large business organization of the society business ventures will not survive if it fails to contribute to the needs of the society in which it's located. Trust Nigerians now. If you feel that you can operate here without helping them or without showing some concern to your host community, it's just one rumor they will release on WhatsApp. Your business is closed. So social responsibility is the obligation of business organizations to pursue the policies, to make decisions, to follow lines of action which are desirable in terms of objectives and value of our society. Social responsibility can also be regarded as implied, enforced felt obligations of managers acting on their behalf, especially when it comes to official capacities, to serve or protect the interests of the group other than themselves. Invariably, as a corporate or body or as a business concern that is embarked on social responsibility of business, you are not promoting the interests of your organization at this point in time, but rather the interests of the group, the interests of your host community. Take another instance. Look at what is happening in Niger Delta today. Niger Delta, people in Niger Delta, they have suffered over the years as a result of oil exploration or what have you. Oil spillage alone is impoverishing the people of the Niger Delta. They cannot farm on their land and have a good harvest. In their water, because most of them are fishermen, in their riverine area, oil spillage has also contributed in devastating the sea animals, things like periwinkle, crayfish, and other forms of fish. So invariably, those that are into fish farming can no longer have a good harvest. This has affected their economic activities, both in the sea and on land. So as a corporate body, Shell, for instance, can come up and say, okay, because we are operating in your locality, because we have affected your economy negatively as a result of oil exploration, Shell can now come up with some kind of palliatives, some kind of measures in order to ameliorate the sufferings of people in this Niger Delta region. In most cases, during recruitment, Shell can reserve certain quota for people of the Niger Delta as a way of encouraging them. Imagine a situation, a family has one person, just one person, one graduate that works with Shell. Automatically, Shell has succeeded in uplifting that family that is from poverty line for life, because that person will now help other people in that particular family. Apart from reserving employment opportunities, Shell can also come up by putting some infrastructures in place, healthcare system, building adequate and well-furnished hospital for people in the Niger Delta region, construction of roads, construction of borehole, and so on and so forth. So many, even electricity. They can go extra mile to provide electricity for the people of Niger Delta as a way of paying back, as a way of giving back to the society, as a way of encouraging their lives, their economic well-being, which their operation has succeeded in devastating. So if Shell could do this kind of a thing, automatically people within that region will be happy with them. Okay, imagine what will happen to them, a situation they will be making millions through oil exploration without giving back to the society. Boys will go back to the street and begin to blow oil pipelines. There's no two ways about that. So let's look at the impact of that. Application of social responsibilities. I'll still come back with more illustration in the course of the is very necessary in the lives of every corporate body that are operating within because there is no way you will not help in contributing to the development of the area, because your presence alone is also affecting them socially and economically. So when we look at responsibility, we at social responsibility of economic enterprises in the efficient use of resources, improve in your profit margin, and at the same time play a pivotal role in your host community. It is also necessary in the production of goods and services. As a business concern, you are expected to produce goods and services that will give value to people within your locality. Because you cannot produce all these things and just transport them to another country or another locality without considering the interests of people in your locality. One day, area boys will block the road you are passing and say, oh boy, where are you taking all these things to? So you have to put them into consideration and produce what they need as well. And also help in solving problems within your host community. It also helps to observe by words and deeds the ethical standard of society. Because you are operating in that environment, it's not a criteria for you to go outside the rules and regulations guiding the particular environment. Whatever you do within that your operating environment must be in consonance with the laws of the land. You must obey the laws of the land. That reminds me of one Bible verse which I so much cherish. Give to Caesar the things that are Caesar, and to God the things that are God. Because you are there producing goods and services, you should also observe the laws of the land and obey the laws of the land. Obey environmental sanitation days. If they say don't open till 10 o'clock, you must obey that rules. You must keep your surroundings clean and pay your taxes and other civil obligations that will be required of you by the government. So business consigns discharges its obligation to employees by giving them better and competitive wage and fringe benefits, not just to your host community alone. You will also pay your workers living salary, living wage, so that they can also be able to compete with their mates outside. So the business enterprise discharge their obligations to employee by taking care of them and their benefits, motivate them as the case may be. Economically, the price and quality of goods must be of a high standard. You cannot just be in an environment and begin to think of how you will produce a substandard product in order to make profit. One day, her boys may be angry and destroy things in annoyance. So you must also give scholarship to education institutions in their vicinity. Shell does this most cases. At times, you see them sponsoring scholarship to members of their host community up to the university level. You write the exam, if you pass, automatically Shell will be taking care of your academics. In most cases, they sponsor their education up to PhD level, even outside the country for more training. And when they come back, they will still provide employment opportunities for them. It is a way of giving back to your host community. Because without doing this, people in that area will be highly impoverished. Because if they cannot farm and get bumper harvest, they cannot sell in their rivers and get a good harvest from sea animals. So it is a way of helping them as well. You also embark on donation, provision of social infrastructure, clinic, good roads. I have mentioned this before. So you also donate services and maintaining uneconomical operations, job generations, free tax collection, and so on and so forth. But having mentioned all this, there are certain factors which neglect the social responsibility of business. Like I told you at the beginning of this class, most organizations, they are interested on how to increase their profit level. So the quest to pursue profit, high profit margin has made a good number of them to jettison this idea of pursuing doing their social responsibility to their host community. So now, the first point we shall look at in some of these factors that neglect social responsibility, the first one we shall look at is relative small size of business. In most cases, you find out that business concerns are very, very small. The organization you are expecting to perform, to give you, they are just managing to survive. They are burning generator from morning till night. High cost of production in Nigeria is very, very high. Very extremely high. That is the more reason why companies like Michelin, Dunlop, PZ, they have all, even some parts of Unilever, they have all moved to neighboring countries like Ghana. So if you ask them, they say cost of production in Nigeria is very, very high. Look at the cost of diesel. And the NEPA will not give them light from morning till night. All these companies will burn generator from morning till night. Even at night, they will still be burning their generator. So all these things will affect them in the course of production, and it will also affect their profit margin. So the relative small nature of Nigerian business enterprises automatically affect the issue of social responsibility. Number 2 point there is profit maximization pursuit. Like I said earlier on, most of these organizations, they derive more joy in maximizing their profits. And if you are interested in maximizing profit, embarking on your social responsibility will now be a thing of the past, because when you are embarking on social responsibility to your host community, you are spending more. You are spending money. Ordinarily, that money you are spending trying to enhance your social responsibility would have reflected in your profit level. So because of that, a good number of them, because of a pursuit for maximization of profit, they don't remember their social and psychological responsibility of providing or giving back to their host community. Number 3 point there is unethical business practices. In most cases, you see a business concern being dishonest to their customers, even embezzling funds, robbing government of certain taxes, stamp duties, VAT. A good number of them don't remit all these things to the government. At times, you see some of these business concerns involving themselves in smuggling of goods and services, hoarding. You find, okay, a good example is look at Tokumbo as look at Toyota product now as a brand. Toyota product is very, very expensive, but you don't blame them. Apart from they have the quality, the durability is there, and all what have you. Toyota company is the only company in Nigeria that deals with automobile that pays the actual tariff in the ports. Others normally go through the shortcuts and cut cost. And after paying all what they are supposed to pay, automatically it will reflect on their price. They will factor all these things in their price. So while others are trying to cut cost by trying to smuggle it in, trying to do one kind of sharp practice or the other, so all these things are part of unethical practices which also affect the business and even affect government as a whole. Another point is limited education background of many entrepreneurs. A good number of them, some of them are not literate enough. They lack the basic knowledge. The basic knowledge of doing the business, the basic knowledge of moving their business to the next level. A good number of, I've seen a businessman here in Lagos. He has what it takes to embark on importation, but he does not because of his limited education. He's afraid of the exchange rate. He's afraid of people duping him when he travels out of the country. He's even timid of not being exposed, of doing business with the foreigners. So another point is general downturn of the economy, resulting in laying off of employees. We are going to experience that as soon as this lockdown is over, but may God help us. I'm hearing rumor now that one new generation bank in Nigeria is trying to cut down the number of branches and at the same time reduce their staff strength. Though they have come out to deny that. I won't mention their name anyway. They have come out to deny that. But whether we like it or not, we should expect downsizing. Many workers are going to lose their jobs as a result of this pandemic. Companies and nations will be forced to enter into recession. And as a result of that economic recession they're going to experience right now, what do you expect companies to do? They have to reduce their work strength in order to be able to remain afloat in business. So we also have lack of professionalism in management of style. Lack of professionalism. When we talk of this lack of professionalism, you find out that many organizations and their managers, they lack the competent skills in order to do things and make things happen. In a situation they lack some of these skills, embarking on their social responsibilities, is that what you will now expect them to do? The answer is no. They must be professional to the core before they can now remember their responsibilities as corporate organization or business concern. Societal little expectation of social responsibilities as the various bodies to play dominant role to enforcing conformity. Look at Standard Organization of Nigeria, Federal Ministry of Health, FIRO, FEPA. All these government agencies are supposed to make these organizations sit up and remember their core social responsibility and make sure that they implement it. But in most cases, when they go there, they collect brown envelope. What do you expect them to do? Especially Standard Organization of Nigeria. You see substandard products entering into the country as if nobody is regulating this country. Yet we have such organization as a government agency. It's very, very appalling. Next point, some of the foreign entrepreneurs come from countries where consciousness of social responsibilities is at best in the basic infancy. Example, countries like Britain, Taiwan, India, even China. So this issue of corporate social responsibility is not strange to all these companies. They know about it. But when they come to Nigeria where nobody is regulating goes, you find out that they're pretending them where anything as if they don't know anything about what called social responsibility of business. They will just make their money and then back on capital flight. And they back on capital for flight and move in profit out of this country. Total reliance of public-owned enterprises in the provision of services like rail, air, ports, broadcasting, health, water, steel. All these large enterprises are financed by the taxpayers, and it is assumed that they are socially responsible since their preoccupation is in social welfare redistribution. Look at Nigerian Ports Authority now. They are there to provide services which ordinarily you and I cannot produce, give to ourselves. Another point there is ignorance of the role business enterprises should play to the area of social responsibility. A good number of business concerns are not even aware of their responsibility as a business concern, talk less of improving on their lives or maybe to the host community or giving back to their host community. So let's look at social responsibility and the Nigerian entrepreneur. It helps in the contribution to community development, employment opportunities. I've mentioned all this before. Price control, avoidance of smuggling, environmental sanitation, product safety guarantee, consumers-oriented labeling, prevention of product defects, assist government in identifying and making credit facilities, fair advertising, generous donations, support for games and sports. Under support for games and sports, if Nigeria is playing, if Super Eagles is playing, so you find out that most of these companies will come and sponsor them, like Nigerian Guinness, Nigerian Breweries, all these companies and the other ones, they join forces and they support our Super Eagles. We also have contribution to arts. Rural development is another area where they play active role in rural development, donation to orphanage homes, rehabilitation of centers, contribution to education institutions and research centers. Yes, they contribute a lot in research centers. Elimination of poverty and provide quality health care, apprenticeship scheme, skill acquisition for the unemployed, Leventis Group, UAC, all of them embark in all this one time of the day or the other. Releasing understandable accounting statements to members of the public so that members of the top public will know what they have done and what they are into. I repeat the assignment again. With practical illustrations, discuss the relevance of social responsibility of business to the host community. I take that again. With practical illustrations, discuss the relevance of social responsibility of business to the host community. Submit it to valentine@yahoo.co.uk. So let's look at marketing in today's business. Marketing in today's business. Oh, my time is up. I have only 2 minutes. I will start that because I don't need to rush it. We shall look at, next we'll meet, we shall look at marketing mix, product, place, promotion, and price as a means of marketing. Because when you produce all these goods and services, whether you like it or not, you must look out for people to sell the products to. And the way of looking out for people, you have to put your marketing outfit into serious mechanism. The marketing mix place is a very first tool as a business concern that you need to put in place in order to make your goods and services available to your numerous customers. I will stop here until I come your way next week. Thank you and have a very good day. The assignment once again, with practical illustrations, discuss the relevance of social responsibility of business to the host community. I take that again. With practical illustrations, discuss the relevance of social responsibility of business to the host community. Thank you very much.